Welcome to the Africa Event Connect podcast, where we explore the fascinating world of exhibitions and events across the continent. Now, today we're diving into the art of organizing and growing one of Southern Africa's most iconic trade shows, Electra Mining. Now, this event is the largest of its kind, bringing together leaders in the industrial, manufacturing, and mining industries to foster trade, innovation, and collaboration. Joining us today is Charlene Hefer, Portfolio Director for Electra Mining at Specialised Exhibitions. We'll uncover the strategies behind organizing an event of this magnitude, the lessons it offers for the wider industry, and of course, the key trends shaping the future of large-scale exhibitions. So whether you're an event professional, a stakeholder, or simply curious about what it takes to create a world-class just taking it back up to... So whether you're an event professional, a stakeholder, or simply curious about what it takes to create a world-class trade show, you're in for a compelling discussion. So Charlene, thank you so much for joining us today. It's an absolute pleasure having you here. I've been looking forward to this, to discussing the details of Electra Mining, and just getting into your headspace as to how we do this.
Thank you very much, Progeny. It's so nice to be here. I must admit that I'm also really looking forward to the opportunity to discuss it with you, to unpack a little. Now that the stress is over and the show is actually done, it will actually be really nice to unpack it.
So we got you at the right time, post-show.
Definitely.
And pre-show, because I know that 2026 is already in the trenches, right?
100%. Planning's already started. Even before 2024 takes place, we start with our 2026 planning.
You know what? I think it's such a perfect example for so many people in our exhibition and event space to understand how important it is to start before. You know, people often think we can put together a show in 3 months, but it's to the detriment of all those people, right?
100%. I mean, if you had to put any industry professional under pressure, we could tell you that we can put a show together in the space of a few months, but that doesn't do the show justice. It doesn't do any of the stakeholders justice. We actually generally start 3 to 4 months before any event with the planning for the next edition, whether it's annual or biannual, because you've got to get all of your collateral ready. You've got to get your vision ready for the next edition. Otherwise, what are you selling your exhibitors? What are you selling your stakeholders during the show on site?
That's true. That's true. So give us an overview of Electra Mining. I mean, it is the largest trade show of its kind in Southern Africa. It's 50 years, right?
It started in 1972.
So let's go, yeah. In 1972.
In 1972. Wow. So I think Electra Mining has become an institution in those 53 years. It's become a home almost for the mining, the industrial, the manufacturing, the automation, the electrical. All of those industries connect under one roof during Electra Mining. And I think that is what makes it so significant and so important to the industry. It's so wonderful to walk the aisles and you see people connecting and talking and I haven't seen you in ages. I haven't seen you in ages. That is what really makes Electra Mining special to me.
Wow. So again, you're focusing on mining, right? So mining is the core?
Mining is always the core, and then we look at some of the sectors that complement mining. And Electra Mining, I think really one of our strengths and how we've evolutionized it over the years is that we have diversified into alternative sectors like manufacturing, industrial, automation, electrical, power, transport, local manufacturing. And what that's done is open up a world of opportunity for exhibitors who wouldn't necessarily look at other sectors.
Right.
And that's really worked for Electra Mining over the years.
And has it always been a success story? Has there been challenges through the year? Did it ever have any dips? And how long have you been on Electra Mining as a project director?
Let's start with that one. I've been with the company for over 15 years. I took over the reins on Electra Mining in 2012. Mm-hmm. So it's been a long time since I've taken over. Electra Mining started very humbly in 1972. We were a 1,500 square meter show at the Milner Park Showgrounds, yes, with only 50 exhibitors. And I think people never really reflect on that. They don't. But that is actually where we started. In 1984, we took the show back to Nasrec, or to Nasrec for the first time. And in 2004, only did we hit 30,000 square meters. So it was a very, very long process to grow Electra Mining.
Yes.
In 2008, I think one of the highlights were that we were now recognized as one of the top 3 mining shows in the world, which is brilliant for us. And then in 2024, I think we hit a lot of milestones in 2024. It was our biggest show in history. Yes, we did some new research that I'm sure we're going to touch on through Exploring, which is a global research company, and they positioned Electra Mining in the top 2% of exhibitions globally with all of our statistics that came out of it. And we had a 75% rubric of exhibitors for 2026 before we closed the doors in 2024. So I think a lot of milestones over those years since 1972.
A lot of milestones. I mean, you hit over 40,000 square meters now in your last show, and 950, am I right, exhibitors?
Correct. Yes, 950 exhibitors. And that was over 5 halls, 4 outside areas. So literally almost the whole of Joburg Expo Centre.
What kind of workforce do you need to put on a show like this? I mean, people often underestimate the number of people that we employ, the amount of employment that we create as exhibition and event organizers, even though it might be for a short duration, but it definitely stimulates business in this ecosystem, right?
100%. It is a very difficult question because I'm going to tell you that I have the best team in the business. I do. When we started from those humble beginnings, it was Mr. Kaplan. I think a lot of people will remember him with his assistant, and our now managing director, Gary, who's been there for 30 years doing the marketing. So they were a very, very small team. And now we're a very big, multifaceted team. So we've got operations, we've got marketing, we've got sales, we've got accounts. And when push comes to shove in the last, let's say 3 weeks before Electra Mining, literally the entire company steps up. There is not a person in Specialised Exhibitions that does not have a hand in the success of Electra Mining. And then, of course, we go out and we get some temporary workers that can assist us on site. Right. A lot of it with some of the smaller things on site. And then I believe that your key partners are our suppliers. We have to work with them, and they're an extension of our business when we go on site, and we couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely. That ecosystem cannot sustain on our own. So let's go into the planning and execution of this massive, massive event. So you're saying it starts already the next chapter, which is now 2026, had started already before your 2024 event. So what are some of those critical elements that need to be sorted out, planned and confirmed for an event of this nature, this scale?
Well, if you're looking before the event, I think the first thing that we do is we set up a briefing session with our PR agency, with our ad agency, and we communicate our vision for the 2026 show.
So you already communicate with your suppliers. When you said briefing, when you say briefing in our industry, immediately you think exhibitors. But you have a supplier briefing, which is brilliant.
A supplier briefing where we can say, this is what we want the sort of meaning of Electra Mining 2026 to be. This is what I want. We want the look to be. And we get marketing involved, we get management involved, and they then go away and do their magic and come back with a few options. And then we really develop the look and feel already of that event, right, and sort of the core value proposition that we want to do. So that when we go to site, we've already got the brochures printed, we've already got the look and feel. In fact, some of our lounges, like our sales lounge on site, will already carry the 2026 branding because we're selling for 2026. And then coming straight out of that, we would plan then before even the show, what kind of research we want to do on site. Mm-hmm. It's a very unique opportunity when you've got all of your exhibitors and your visitors. If you want any research done, it's best to plan it beforehand so that you can execute it on site. And coming straight out of that would be part of the core thing to me is your event plan. and putting that together and getting feedback from everybody that was involved. We do a full wash up from everybody. I then take that, put it into an event plan template, present it to everybody, including our UK shareholders, so that everybody can question, stress test, and make sure that event plan takes into consideration new trends, new things that we want to do, things that we might have missed or not done so well. And then from there, we take it and we develop individual plans with the various teams to address every single thing in the event plan.
Now, you touched briefly on some of the research and the stats that you get out of the show and how you use that to build into the event plan. So earlier you spoke about using Explori. Was this the first time you did that? So that was post-show though, right?
Explori did the research very much during show. At the end of every day, we actually sent out our surveys because you get a much better response rate that way. So Explori handled all of that during the show, as well as the exhibitors straight after. And I must admit, it was a great experience working with them, as we usually used other research houses or did some of it in-house. And I found that their insights, and because they do so many events globally, was very, very insightful.
Now, how do you use that and build it into your 2026 event plan that you've already somewhat have a structure for, a design for, right?
Correct. For example, I would look at what coming out of the Explori research, what job titles our exhibitors thought we were lacking in visitors. So, for example, one of them said that we can do with a little bit more mine managers. If you actually look at the statistics, our mine managers are great. But perception and maybe they didn't get to see that many. So then in the event plan, I would put that maybe I need to work with that relevant association a bit better. We'll do a specific visitor drive. We'll do more focus sessions, but actually drive out to some of the mines maybe and go and invite them personally, and to make sure that I focus on that area and bring in more mining managers then for those specific exhibitors that didn't see enough of those.
That's brilliant. So you're taking the plan and you fine-tuning it now using what Explori has given you.
Correct. And I mean, a lot of basic planning stuff also came out of Explori. For example, ablution facilities. You look at Expo Centre and you think that it's one of the biggest that we have in the country. There must be sufficient ablution facilities. And it turns out that some people didn't think so. So in the event plan, I would then say, maybe we need to look at bringing in some. So those are very basic base level planning things, but the data is great for that, all the way up to your visitor and exhibitor planning.
Because I think very often as event organizers, we get caught in this rut of assuming a lot of things. We assume we have enough of, or we assume our exhibitors feel a certain way, or our visitors. And I think the research either is for or against those assumptions, and it helps. It justifies your actions thereof. And I think I always say, when I'm doing training, for example, and especially in the marketing field, everybody wants to get data. And data is great. I love the data. It's brilliant. You want to know why, you want to know how, what did we do wrong? But I always say to everybody as well, when we're training students, if you're not going to use the data, it is a pointless, expensive exercise, right? Like
100%.
Use the data, examine it, analyze it, take from it. Otherwise, don't do it.
I agree wholeheartedly, and that is what I found the Explori data to do, because it breaks it up into little chunks for you, and it becomes very manageable and very easy to spot trends and errors in your ways. And we do, yes, we use the Explori. We still do on-site data research, and then of course always there's that informal gut. If you've been in the industry for a long time. But exactly that, the research will justify or disprove your gut and decide that way moving forward.
Yeah, no, it really is brilliant, but use it. Use it to change your plans, to modify, to fine tune like you're doing. I think that's a classic example. And you touched on another point in terms of associations and building relationships. So how do you go about this in terms of what are your strategies for building relationships with your exhibitor database, with your visitor base as well? I'm sure there's multiple associations, multiple companies involved.
To us, that is crucial. It is very, very important. All of our stakeholders. This, I mean, if you look at the history of Electra Mining, some of these media and association partnerships are in their 4th generation. I mean, we dealt with the dads and the granddads of some of the people that we're dealing with now. And that is what a relationship should be. You should know each other well. You should understand each other's drivers, and that's what we aim to do. I make a point of it to take most of my associations out for a nice coffee or a lunch to get to know each other a little bit informally, and then yes, of course, get into the business part of it as well. I mean, I can use an example, the South African Capital Equipment Export Council. Eric has been part of their organization for many, many years, and he's now in the UK. Almost not a week goes by where I won't check in with Eric and ask for his advice. And those relationships have made Electra Mining what it is. Yeah. The new product competition and showcasing all of the innovation at Electra Mining was Eric's brainchild. It was SAACI's brainchild, and only in working with them to make that a reality, did we achieve this great thing at Electra Mining to give companies a platform to launch new products. And I think it's your media, it's your associations, I mean, your exhibitors. I think back of a multi-dollar company like Multitech. When they started with Electra Mining, they had a 4x4, a little 4 meter by 4 meter cubicle. Yeah. And they were this little screening company. And now they're a multinational. And they've grown through the years with Electra Mining, and those kind of relationships and watching them grow and learning from them and their changing needs as they grow is significant. And then our visitors, you're going to laugh at me, but Gary and I still get in the car and we actually drive to the mines. And we go and we visit and we hand out tickets and we spend some time there, because otherwise how would I know what a visitor has to go through? We've even spent time in Ghana. You drive from Accra to some of the mines and you realize how difficult it is for these people to just get to Accra to catch a flight. If you don't understand that kind of detail about your visitors, it's very difficult to attract them from, yes, South Africa, as well as other African countries. And then, of course, suppliers. They're just as important to us. So we work really hard at those relationships and get to know each other, a little bit informally over maybe a coffee, and then, of course, know each other's strengths and weaknesses when it comes to site.
Yes, and where you're going to need that extra assistance. That is truly remarkable. I mean, we sometimes take these relationships for granted, that they will just merely be on the following year, but it takes effort, right? I mean, you have to put in time and effort and sincerity and authenticity into those relationships, right?
Yeah, if it only works for one party, it doesn't help. I mean, it's great to put a logo on there and say that you're endorsed by an association, but if you don't do anything for that association, they're not going to do anything for you in return. Yeah. So it's got to be a sincere and real relationship for it to carry any weight.
So talking about all these relationships that you have to build and the research that you get from your visits and from the data that we do, how do you please everybody?
I suppose that one of the hard lessons as a perfectionist that I had to learn with a show like Electra Mining is that you cannot please everybody. You can just try your utmost best to deliver on what people expect, what your exhibitors expect, what your visitors expect, but you will always have one or two people who will be unhappy. And as long as you find the middle ground and you do the utmost best that you can offer, yes, I think that is all that you can do.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it is challenging, but the fact that you're asking the questions and you might not be able to figure it out or sort it out now, or you might be able to marginally fix the problem, but there is a plan. And I suppose as well, there are some exhibitors or stakeholders that participate and realize it's not for me, and that's okay too. That's the other thing that we need to realize, right?
100%. I mean, it might not be their market, or it might not be what they expected. Or if you're looking from a visitor perspective, if you're getting 40,000 people to an event, parking is going to be tough. We try everything. We've got metro. We've even gone outside there and directed traffic ourselves. We put in traffic management systems. Yet you will always find one or two people who are unhappy about the parking. And that might just be because you had a bad experience with the parking attendant. And, you cannot try better than or do better than that. But if parking comes up, we review it again. We actually changed it a little bit this time. We started directing the traffic one level up, almost like as they came off the highway. Right. It did make a big difference. Wow. So it is good to push yourself in those areas. Yeah. But yes, it is very, very difficult to please everyone.
I'm sure. But the fact that you try is, I think, is credit to you, definitely. Now, through all of the research that you've done, through all of the relationship building as well, you are seeing a lot of industry trends in the mining industries, right? That, I mean, what are some of those key trends that you're seeing now that has changed maybe from previously? Has anything changed? Are they moving forward?
Definitely. I suppose technology is across every sector probably one of the biggest changes that we've seen. In the past, traditionally, if you looked at electromining, people would have said to you that halls 5 and 6 is your heavy equipment,
Yeah.
or 7 would be more your electrical hall, 8 your lighter industry going into your internationals, and then 9 being an overflow for that and almost an incubator hall. Now Hall 7 looks completely different because automation has taken over. Hall 7 has become the home of automation. If I look back at my records, I probably started changing that in 2018. I started moving out the other companies to make a home for all of the automation companies. Sorry.
He's like, look here. Okay, open. Ooh, right there.
No, I missed
Open the door. Oh my gosh. Selby, don't you have something we can whack it with?
Like a
Here's my shoes.
Here, here's my book.
fly swatter.
Just.
Yeah.
No.
He's constantly just like, now he's like spinning in her face while she's talking. It's not. Okay. No? I think you hit it out. I think you did. I feel like you did. Okay, close the door, Selby.
Sorry.
Okay.
So let me see.
We're talking about Hall 7.
Hall 7. Yes, so Hall 7 looks completely different now. We started changing it in 2018, and now it is our automation hall. In fact, it is too full. So I am going to now make half of Hall 10, which is our local manufacturing hall. But because the local manufacturers are spread throughout electromining, half of that hall is going to also become automation to make sure that we make space for all of these new technological advancements that actually cut across all of our industries.
That's amazing. And have you brought, talking about technology and automation, but have you brought a lot of technology and automation into your systems, into your planning systems to meet the demands of the audience?
Yes, definitely. And I think one of the best examples is WhatsApp. I mean, we all use WhatsApp, specifically in South Africa.
Yes.
We communicate daily on it. Very few people don't have WhatsApp. And we started seeing that the open rates on the mails were going down.
Yes.
With the show the size of electromining, people struggle to navigate it. There's a constant question for information at electromining. The seminar theatres, the food, the navigation. So our marketing team, I cannot take credit for this one, came up with a WhatsApp channel, a dedicated WhatsApp channel. So we paid for the development of it. And what happened was, and this is the first for South Africa as well, as you entered the show, you got a WhatsApp that said, "Welcome, Progeny, to Electromining Africa 2026 or 2024. I am your local guide. What can I get for you? Do you want information on the floor plans, the food, the seminar theatres, etc., etc.?" And we had over 56,000 interactions on our WhatsApp channel with our visitors.
Oh, no. Okay, wait.
Right, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Maybe I need to do it with my shoes.
No, you can't eat it with your shoe. Wait. Open the door. There. Yeah, maybe it needs a way out.
There, it's by your book. It's not afraid of it, is it? There it is.
No, it does.
Okay, let's leave it open. I think.
Let's see if it works.
Gosh. What determination. This.
And he's not scared, eh?
Not even hiding in the background. Like
No.
wants to be center stage.
Goodness.
Right. I love that WhatsApp. Wow.
It worked really, really well.
Okay. Let's take it from start the WhatsApp again.
So we introduced a WhatsApp channel for our visitors, and this was the brainchild of our marketing team. I cannot take credit for this one.
Brilliant.
Because our visitors are constantly looking for navigation.
Oh no, it's back. Where is it?
No, no, it's not here. It just likes Charlene now.
Yeah, here it is. It's coming your way.
How could such a small thing?
I know, right? Like,
And it's so distracting.
it is. It's like, ding.
Are they behind you?
In your face kind of thing. In your face. Like, we even left the door open for you, Guy. Hello.
Yeah, go out now.
Right, goodness me. Selby, you just watch if it comes out. Then close the door quickly.
I'm sorry, it's going to make your editing job harder.
You could tell, Jess. We need a fly swatter and some doom
Yeah.
for future reference. Crazy. It seems like it's gone.
It's a clever one. It waits until we start talking.
Yeah. It loves to be here. See, that's why. Okay. Right. What's up again?
Yes, Progeny, we've embraced technology, and we launched a WhatsApp channel for our visitors to Electra Mining. And that was the brainchild of our marketing department. I definitely can't take credit for that one. But we developed it to help our visitors find their way around Electra Mining, what food options are available, our content, new launches, etc. And another first for South Africa, when a visitor entered and they went through our registration, you got a WhatsApp straight away saying, "Welcome, Progeny. Welcome to Electra Mining. I'm your personal guide. What can I do for you today? What would you like information on?"
Right.
And we had over 56,000 interactions with this WhatsApp channel. And it was the first time that we launched it.
So now the WhatsApp channel is still in place.
Yes, it's
And
the
you can
specialized channel.
Use it to continue communication with this market. So this is specifically for Electra Mining, right?
This is specific. No, it is a specialized WhatsApp channel, but
Okay.
we activated it for Electra Mining. It is active, but it is dormant. So
Okay.
we would have to reactivate it. We don't generally communicate out of
the
showtime with it.
Right.
So now it will be revamped for our next event. So it will go into Securix, etc. But if you do go into the WhatsApp channel as a user and you reply to it, it will still answer you, but it is a dormant WhatsApp channel.
That is brilliant. That really, really is brilliant. Because, I mean, have you ever explored an app, for example? And I mean, I'm assuming you've chosen WhatsApp over the app.
Correct. We put quite a bit of money into developing apps a few years ago. And if you look at the take-up rate and how many people actually download them, it was minuscule. It wasn't worth it. Whereas with a WhatsApp, because it's right there and it's asking you,
Yes.
do you want to know what food is available or do you want to know what's in hall 5? It's much easier to just push yes or 5 and it gives you the information than going to download an app and trying to find your way.
Yeah, that is so true. Because you still have to get through the gate, then download the app, or have a call to action to download the app before. And apps are quite expensive exercise as well.
Correct. I'm not going to say that the WhatsApp is a very cheap option. I think it is a fair option.
But as long as you're getting your return on it,
Correct.
it is being used, then you don't mind the expense, right?
Not at all. In fact, we're going to adopt it for all of our shows, even the smaller events, because it did add that much value to our visitors. It did make it so much easier for them. And then there's lots of planning and lots of new ideas that we want to bring into those channels to make it even better for our visitors to interact with.
That is absolutely brilliant. Now, let's look at how do you take a show when you've reached this kind of success on your last one? How do you scale it? What kind of growth strategies and tactics do you have in place to either maintain that quality and reputation? Because it's not always about growth. It's about meeting that audience needs. So what are the plans for the next few years?
We often joke in the office and we say it's easier to climb until you reach the top of the mountain than what it is to stay at the top of the mountain.
That is very true.
And I think that is where we are with Electra Mining. We've really challenged ourselves to start on a clean slate. So we push ourselves as a team to come up with new ideas, to innovate. And yes, growth is very, very much as part of our strategy for 2026. And I'll let the cat out of the bag because we haven't sent out the press release, but we are opening up a brand new orange area. It's going to be in the arena. And that will help because we literally didn't have enough outside space for our exhibitors. So opening up that new area will really help in accommodating those extra exhibitors that want outdoor space.
So when you say orange, see, you're assuming everybody knows your orange terminology that you're so used to. Let's explain orange for our audience.
That's a good point. Way too close to it. So in about 4 years ago, we started launching color-coded areas outside to assist people to find it easier. So last year, we put a lot of effort into it. So we have a red zone, a blue zone, a yellow zone, and now an orange zone. So it's easier for people to find it. So if you're looking for someone in the blue zone, there's big blue wind blowers, there's blue carpets, there's blue wrapping around the trees. So it just sort of guides you to the correct outside area.
That's brilliant. Now, when you talk about, I want to focus a little bit more on stakeholder engagement because, again, I want to go back there because I think it's crucial to the scalability and the growth strategies, right? What do you find? What is your magic number? Is there a magic number in terms of the number of associations you should be dealing with? Because you've got so many different types of, when you're talking about associations specifically, right? There's so many different types of trade associations. Then you've got government, you've got different corporate leaders. Who do you include, exclude? Where is there a line in the sand here?
I don't think I have a magic formula. We really look at all of our different sectors. And if Electra Mining, for example, focuses over 6, I make sure that I have associations that cover each and every one of those. You've got to make sure that you cover all of the sectors within your show, and you do the same from a visitor perspective. Right. And then you might often find some outlying associations that actually want to partner with you. And if they add value and if they have great ideas, I often don't see a reason to exclude them. And if you're looking at government and parastatals, etc., I love working with SA Tourism, for example. And if you're looking at the UFI statistics and how much money per square meter an exhibition brings in for the local economy. When they were out in South Africa at the last UFI conference, they were talking about $3,800 per indoor square meter is the value that we contribute to an economy. I mean, that's 70,000 Rand a square meter. And that is crazy. So it's key for me to work with the likes of SA Tourism, and through all of the capital equipment, or the export councils rather, like the Capital Equipment Export Council, you indirectly work with the Department of Trade and Industry, right? Because they are arms of the Department of Trade and Industry.
Oh, I see.
And then we also had the Department of Mineral Resources attend the event. They were really impressed with what they saw, and they expressed an interest to work with us in future. So I look forward to growing those partnerships and to working with them. But I don't have a magic number as to what associations you should or shouldn't. But I would caution against too many, and particularly inactive ones. I wouldn't work with any inactive ones that's just a trade of a logo, because that doesn't add value.
I get you. I'm going to pause. Did you see it?
Yeah, it was on your mic. And
yeah, I know. It's like...
Is it on that... No, that's another hoja.
It was behaving just now. Where did it go? On this one? I know, but then it ducked you guys. Don't worry, we're almost done. We're almost done. Yes, I think that is a really good point for people in the industry to note. I mean, as much as there are many people who want to associate with you, but you've got to evaluate the value that they bring, right?
100%. And the other two that I would like to mention is the likes of AAXO and EXSA. I really enjoy working with them, and I think it does make a difference, and they work hard for the better, to better our industry as a whole. And I think it is key. And we actually have EXSA on site at our big events.
Yes.
It makes a big difference.
Yep. and bringing the ecosystem together, bringing the suppliers together, making sure they're all able to catch each other as well.
100%.
Because it is a massive show, and you can't have one single supplier doing everything.
Oh no, we've got pretty much the whole of the supply chain on site for Electra Mining.
Are there any areas that you felt on your last show, due to the data, for example, that you are doing away with, for example?
Funny enough, no, I will change our seminar programs. I will change the way we approach it. We tailored it with our theme days.
Mm-hmm.
The theme days are a really nice initiative that we do. We theme each day differently, from local is Lacquer Day to Sustainability Day to whatever is topical at that event. And that allows our exhibitors to launch products, dress up, do something fun on their stands, talk about it from a PR perspective. We change up our registration areas. We hand out everything from Cook Sisters to pink donuts on Women's Day. So previously the seminar content was just aligned with that. And I think this time I would like to change the seminar content up a little bit, look at a new partner, look at maybe bringing in things like podcast or even a little on-site studio. Yes. So those are the kind of changes that we want to make. I don't think there's anything that we would like to take away completely, but certainly a lot of new additions that we'd like to make.
That's brilliant. Again, it's all contributes to scaling up or maintaining that audience. They want to come, they want to see what's different, and you've got to change the face of it. You've got to change the feeling, because they are very aware of what was, right?
Exactly. And Electra Mining, as somebody said it, somebody coined the phrase, it's an industrial festival. And I actually now factor that into my planning. People come to learn, they come to connect, they come to also have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And we got to make sure that fun and that special factor is always part of Electra Mining.
Sure. Talking about your conferences and your seminar program, do you find that very popular, or are people coming more for product?
They're coming more for product. At a show like Electra Mining, where you've got so much to see and you might only have one day, I find that people come for product. On our smaller shows, where maybe somebody has time to attend one or two sessions and still see all of the exhibitors, they're a lot more popular. That is why I think it needs a bit of a rethink, and maybe if you can't attend it, you can listen to it afterwards, because I don't think it's that people don't want to learn. It's just, there's so much information, there's so much to see, and how do you divide your time?
That's true. And especially if you've got 950 exhibitors to get through, if you've allocated only a day, you're definitely not going to make it.
No, and I mean, then you've also got to take into consideration that a lot of these guys are coming from the mine, so they leave early, and then you have to get into Electra Mining. You've got to park, you got to get in. So a nice new addition for 2024 was our paid for visitor campaign, which is actually quite unheard of in the B2B space for us. Yeah. And the uptake on it was phenomenal. We called it our platinum product, and it was specifically for people, sort of high-level visitors or people who had only a few hours. You could book it in advance, you paid a fee, you got to park at FNB Stadium, you got transported straight across the bridge into Nasrec, into a beautiful marquee where you could lock up your stuff. There was snacks, food, conference facilities, and you could come and go, and you could really make the most of your visit to Electra Mining.
And was that a good take up on that?
It was a great take up. A lot of lessons learned for me. It was the first time that we did it. It's always tough when you launch something like that the first time, and I really look forward to bettering it for 2026. It will still be limited. I want it to be exclusive. I don't want it to be available to everybody.
Yes.
But certainly a growth on 2024 for 2026.
I love that. And I'm sure there are lots of companies where their CEOs or, key players in the business that have limited time and need that quick drop off. They need to be present. They need to show face, whether they're speaking or whatever the case may be. That would definitely help.
Correct. And a lot of our international visitors, I mean, we, as Electra Mining, we sponsored an inward buying mission to bring companies and buyers from South America and Africa to South Africa. And those kind of people we also hosted on our, what we called our Platinum program, to make sure that it's easy for them to access the show and to get to see the equipment that we thought that they would buy to take out of the country and to export.
Amazing. So for those of our audience that's listening in the exhibition and event space, what kind of key lessons have you learned from Electra Mining that other event organizers can adopt, especially when it comes to navigating all the challenges, the downturns in the industry, or disruptions in the industry? What kind of lessons that you learned that others could take away from?
I think we've all learned that lesson coming out of 2020, but one of the benefits of diversifying and looking after multiple sectors is that in a downturn in a specific industry, you've got other industries to carry you through. Mm-hmm. That is, I suppose, where it becomes a challenge for some of our niche shows or people who have niche events. If that one sector struggles, then it's very, very difficult to overcome that. Yes. So diversifying and focusing on a variety of industries really, really helps you overcome those little hurdles, because it is very seldom that all of the industries will suffer at the same time.
Yeah. And obviously, would you focus on collaboration as an important factor in the success of the event and moving forward and getting you to the next step or over a hurdle?
100%. I mean, it's only by working together that Electra Mining exists, and I firmly believe that collaboration is so important. And if you're looking at sorry, cut.
It's right here. I wish we could whack it. Can you hold the mic still? Can we whack it? Sorry, I'm going to do this. Where? Yeah, it's back. It was behaving. Where? Okay. It was behaving. Right, we ended collaboration.
Yes, we ended at collaboration, yes.
Okay. Right. Okay, Charlene, wow, that's just so much of information, but such valuable information that we can definitely all learn from. I think it's a stunning example of growth over 53 years. Where does the future of Electra Mining lie? Will there be more diversification? Will we be, going more niche? How do you plan to accommodate all the trends or the shifts in the mining and the industrial industries? Yeah.
Sure. I think for now we're going to stick to those industries. We've got 6 for 2026, and I think it's a focus on growing that and even accommodating those sectors, because in 2024 I found it difficult to accommodate those sectors, and that's why the opening up of the arena I think will help to showcase those industries to the fullest, because I didn't do that in 2024. And I really want Electra Mining 2026 to be the place where all of these industries can come together, they can connect, they can do business, they can grow. And that to me is what Electra Mining should be.
Brilliant. Now, for all our event organizers out there, you have grown so much. You said, you've been here for 15 years and you've grown so much and you've seen so much. And you've grown the shows at Specialized. And that's really, really takes great leadership skills and great talent. What tips do you have for professionals in the industry that want to organize large-scale events like this or high-impact trade shows? So, how do they make their events more impactful? How do we, evolve in this exhibition space and still grow, like personally now we're talking about?
I think you have to challenge yourself. And by challenging yourself, you'll challenge your team. We often have a saying in the office that we don't take the easy way out for ourselves. If something is easy to do on site or it's easy to do in your marketing, don't do it because it's easy for you. Ask yourself if that's the best way for your visitor, for your exhibitor, for your stakeholders. And most often it's not. It's the tough ways and the hard ways that's actually best for the show. And you got to challenge yourself to do that the whole time. And then work with your team. Without your team, you cannot. Pause.
Hold the mic. Right.
Oh no.
Damn it. There.
Let it go.
Oh no.
I think there must be something sweet or something, maybe from someone's lipstick or something on the mic, because it really likes the mic.
It does, hey?
Mm.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Let's take that again. For your team.
Yes. The other thing I would say is that you gotta understand your team very well. You gotta know their strengths, their weaknesses, where you can push them, when you can rely on them. And I think trust plays a big part there. It's impossible for one person to understand and control every minor detail. Although, trust me, I try. My team will tell you, but it is impossible for one person to do that. You have to trust your team. You have to rely on them. And then once you've decided on your new ideas and your innovations, you've got to plan those. And if you thought that you've done it properly, you've got to do it again. You've got to go through site visits, take your entire team, let them argue with you, argue the merits, look at it if you do it this way, if you do it that way. If we didn't do that for Electra Mining, we would never achieve what we do today.
Do you find that the people that you employ prefer get into a comfort zone and want to sit behind their desks? Because from what you're telling me, you do a lot of in-person interaction. I mean, that's what our whole industry is based on. But I love the fact that you go out to the mines, you go out to your clients, you liaising with your suppliers, but all face to face, not from behind your desk. Do you find resistance these days to those kind of things? Or is it our old school way?
No, I think definitely there is resistance. It's much easier to just send an email, but then again, you're taking the easy way out. And I think we like to challenge ourselves. And as a rule, I always once a year take my entire team down a mine. How do you market to a market that you don't understand what it's like to be under a mine, where they actually for 11 hours a day do not have a cell phone, what it feels like if the lift breaks and you can't get out of the mine? So as a team building exercise, we go and we do that. And if you don't get out and you experience, if you don't go and do a site visit, and yes, I mean, you and I both, we've been to Gallagher 15 million times, but yet, if you go again and you look with a different eye, and if you're looking for something specifically and you listen to the team and their opinions, you often find a different way that you wouldn't have assumed is correct the first time around. So we definitely like pushing people out of their comfort zones. And yes, I think there is a new modern way that people don't want to do that, but you cannot achieve those results in our industry without doing that.
I love that. That is brilliant. We have to. I love the site visit. Tell me when you're going down the mine again. I've never done it.
You're welcome to join us. So we'll go down the Cullinan, the diamond mine. It's one of the safer options. So I'll let you know when we go.
Please do. That would be an experience of note. I think just learning so much. I think we all need to inspire the learning and create settings where everybody can continue that learning. And it might not be learning in exactly what you're doing, but just opening your mind up to a new experience might bring on some new inspiration, right?
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing so much. It truly was inspiring. And I'm sure our listeners have enjoyed it tremendously. So I'm sure people are going to be reaching out to you for some suggestions. But I know you too love to share and love to teach and love to educate. So you'd welcome those.
Of course I would. Anybody's always welcome to contact me, and I'd help wherever I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for the opportunity. It was great to reflect on the 2024 event.
And that brings us to the end of this insightful episode of Africa Event Connect. A very big thank you to Charlene Hefer for sharing her expertise and giving us a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to organize and grow a landmark event like Electra Mining. We hope you've gained valuable insight into the art of exhibition management and how the lessons from Electra Mining can be applied across the industry. So, if you've enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with your network. Stay tuned for more discussions with industry leaders as we continue to uncover the stories and strategies driving the success of Africa's exhibitions and events. Until next time, I'm your host, Prajani Patha. Keep connecting, keep collaborating, and keep creating.